Hey, Aubrey, welcome to a writing vocabulary episode.
Yes, welcome to you. I'm excited for you guys to hear this episode because I know a lot of you out there listening, writing is your biggest challenge.
hmm
And you might just kind of have it might be kind of abstract. Like, I can't get the score I need. What exactly do I need to do to? And this is something very concrete you can do. Really clear advice today to help you improve your writing scores.
Exactly, guys. So like we teach in Three Keys IELTS, you really just need some amazing vocabulary that you know how to use correctly. And that
Yes.
can increase your vocabulary score at least to a 7, right? Because remember, you're graded on 4 things: grammar and vocab, cohesion, coherence, and task. So today we're focusing on that vocabulary score because we got a question. I believe it came through on YouTube from Cypherblade. Cypher,
Amazing name.
I know.
Shout out to Cypherblade.
I love that name. Cypherblade asked us, what are some common lexical resources in IELTS, not everyday life, to improve the writing score? So, we're not going to teach you common vocabulary today because that does not increase your score, right? We're going to teach you impressive phrases that are straight from Three Keys IELTS. We are digging
Yes.
into our course today, guys, to show you just a sample, a mere smattering of the amazing vocabulary that you will learn in our course. But you are going to get this vocab today for free, of course, because it's on the podcast.
Yes, lucky you. I know Cypherblade may have wanted us to like list out all of the resources online or this is why we made our course. There aren't that many good resources that teach you really high scoring vocabulary in a clear systematic way. So instead, we are going to give you vocabulary from our online IELTS course to give you a taste of what you see in there because if it's all very clear and in one place and makes sense for where it's used on which essays, bam, you have the strategies you need.
Exactly. And remember, guys, on IELTS Energy, we don't just talk about vocab. We don't just talk about writing, right? We talk about all 4 sections of the test. So, if you want some listening advice, guys, just last week, just a few episodes ago, episode 1311, we talked about listening skills and gave you some amazing activities that you can do for free on your own anytime to improve your IELTS listening skills. So check out IELTS Energy 1311, 3 ways to train IELTS listening skills. And remember to hit follow right now, guys, because you don't want to miss any of our episodes. All right. 2 new
Yes.
episodes every week. So let's get into this vocab, Aubrey.
Awesome. Okay, so first we're going to share some vocabulary from our course for task one,
Mhm.
change over time essays. Now, keep in mind, when students sign up for our course, you have these separate modules. So it's very clear this vocabulary is useful for task one, change over time
Mhm.
essays. Then we're sharing all the different kinds of essays you might get in task one. So there's static essays, there's process essays, and they all need different high level vocabulary. And then for general training, for your essays, high scoring vocabulary for different essays. So what we're sharing today is for task one, change over time. First of all, for a decreasing line. So if you have a chart and it shows numbers that are decreasing over time, over a certain
Mhm.
amount of years, you need high level, impressive words to describe those decreasing numbers.
Exactly. I cannot tell you how many essays I saw as an examiner that just said, like, go up, go down, increase, decrease,
Yes.
like, only
Yes.
had that very limited lexical resource for describing simple trends that you're going to have to describe in a change over time essay, right? Because numbers go up, numbers go down. That's all you can write about in change over time. So you need great parallel expressions for go up and go down. So if numbers or the line, right? If the numbers go down a lot, we can say a hefty plunge or plunged heftily, right?
Mhm.
We teach you the different sentence structures for when to use the verb and the noun as well, but we're not going to get into that today. That's a whole other topic, the grammar. But here's the vocab, right? Hefty just means a lot, right? And plunge means decrease significantly. So,
Yes,
a
right? It's a
hefty
synonym for
plunge.
dive,
Yeah.
to really dive deep. We talk about this when we're actually diving in a pool, you plunge in, but we can also use this to describe numbers that fall,
Mhm.
numbers that go down. This is a band 9 word. I rarely see students use it unless they're in our 3 Keys IELTS
Yeah.
course and know it. So add this to your vocab notebook to describe something that decreases significantly.
And notice that these are phrases we're teaching you. It's not just like a noun, right? Because in order to get higher vocabulary scores, you really have to challenge yourself to include as much impressive number vocabulary as you can. So don't put a noun in there by itself. It has to be adjective noun. Don't put a verb in there by itself. It has to be adverb verb, right? You need to exploit the amount of words you have to include as much impressive vocab as you can. So another way to say hefty plunge would be a sizable decline or declined sizably. That's a fun phrase. A sizable decline. So it means exactly the same thing. It's just a fancier way to say it.
Yeah, and you need a few different ways to say this because you may have to describe 2 different lines that go down. You
Yeah.
can't repeat vocabulary. You need impressive, less common ways to say this. So we give you several in our 3 Keys IELTS course.
Hmm.
This is so important, guys, like Jessica was saying, that you get these impressive, less common adjectives and adverbs because they can be useful all over the exam. You can
Hmm.
use them on your task 2 essay,
Yeah,
in your speaking exam, right? To
totally.
add this impressive vocabulary.
I mean, we're just teaching you vocab that means go up and go down, right? Increase and
Right.
decrease. Like we use those we express those ideas often, not just academic task 1 essays. So, a couple more for academic task 1 and then we'll move on to some task 2 phrases guys that are super fun. All right. So, increasing, right? Going up in value. We can say swell significantly or surge noticeably. I
Yeah,
love
these
it.
are
These
both
phrases are
really
so
impressive.
fun.
Yes, absolutely. Swell, you may have heard before to talk about like an injury getting bigger. We can
Yeah.
also use this to describe numbers that get bigger, but a lot of students don't know that. So it makes it high scoring.
Exactly. And surge, right? Surge is like to go up quickly. It's not just about amount, it's also about time, right?
Mm.
So this happens quickly. Surge. That's such a good word. It's such a fun word. And yes, you
Yes.
could totally use that in speaking part 3 and writing task 2, right? Problems with student behavior have surged in recent years. Like that's so impressive.
Yes, or even like your appetite or how often you go to restaurants, right? These words can be used all over the exam.
All right, let's get into task 2. So, we're going to do something interesting here. I'm going to share a thesis statement from our argument template. Okay. So this is an entire sentence, and then we'll teach you some of the words in there that are impressive. All right. So remember, this is from our task 2 argument template. So the template, guys, the essay template that we give you in 3 Keys IELTS, um, it's not just like put this kind of sentence here and this kind of sentence here, right? We tell you exactly where to put examples and reasons and thesis statements and all of that, but we teach you the transition phrases you need to organize those ideas. So that's where the template part comes in, right? So here's the thesis statement. I will explore the rationale for both beliefs as well as proffer justification for my own viewpoint. I love this is like one of
So
my
good.
favorite sentences I've ever written in my life. Like it's so great for argument essays. It could not be more perfect.
Yes, right? A lot of high scoring, impressive vocabulary there. This is pretty easy for a student to memorize and then save so much time instead of thinking of your thesis sentence and what high level vocabulary. This should be quick. This should
Mhm.
be a template sentence that you've memorized, and then you just figure out which essays to use it in, how to plug in your own ideas, and you're saving so much time.
Yeah. So rationale means reasons for an opinion or reasons to support an opinion, right? I will explore the rationale for both beliefs, meaning I will explore the reasoning for these opinions. And then proffer means to give or offer, right? Justification means proof or evidence. Okay, so I will proffer justification. I will give evidence, the reasons and examples for my own viewpoint. So I know there's going to be a listener out there who's like, but if I memorize something and use it on the test, it will decrease my score. No, it won't. You're not going to memorize a whole essay and then write the whole essay. That's when your score goes down. Okay. In fact, the thesis statement, this is the only complete sentence that we ask you to memorize and use because this is such a general sentence. All you're saying is like, I'm going to talk about both sides and give my opinion. And that's all you have to say in a thesis statement. You have to say those things in a thesis statement.
Yeah,
So
and
use this
that word
fancy
for word
stuff,
is what we usually see students write,
right?
right? In this essay, I will share my opinion about both issues.
Yeah.
Band 5, band 6, right? There's just
Yeah.
not less common impressive
Right.
vocabulary. So what this template does is give you this band 9 vocabulary that you know how to spell, you know how to use, you can practice using it in example essays to save you time and get that high scoring vocabulary on test day.
Exactly. We have 2 last words for you, but remember, guys, hit follow right now so you never miss our fantastic IELTS advice. And if you do want total access to all the 3 keys modules, guys, go to allearsenglish.com/KEYS. And remember, now every single student gets feedback and scores on their final exam and lifetime access to the course. So go to allearsenglish.com/KEYS. All right, these last 2 we chose from a model opinion essay that you will see in the course, Band 9 model essay. And the first word is abundance. So this is a noun. What does it mean? It has a pretty simple meaning,
Yeah, it just means to have a lot of something,
right?
right?
Yeah,
But
that's it.
because that idea could come up all over the IELTS exam, and you
Yeah.
can't say a lot of over and over and over. You
Yeah.
need higher scoring words to convey that idea.
Right, exactly. So we say there is an abundance of something, just means there is a lot of something. There is an abundance of homeless people where I live. that's
That's top of
that's true.
mind sometimes for you.
I was just looking outside and like saw someone walk by.
Yeah.
um, so it can be used like positive or negative. There's no connotation. I guess it's often a positive connotation, but as I just used it, that was a negative one, and that's fine. That worked. So just remember it in that phrase, guys. There is an abundance of blank, right? There's a lot of blank. Now, the next word, recede. This is a verb. Also, pretty simple meaning, right? So easy to use. Recede just means to get less, right? To decrease, to go back, to become smaller, to return. Wow, there's I just explained that in a lot of different ways. Um, I will give you the sentence from the course so you can see it in action. All right. So I hope that in the near future, there are more health policies passed that cause obesity rates to recede. So there it is in context.
Yes, and you can see how, of course, there are synonyms, decrease, go down. This one is band 9. Students don't
Yeah.
often know how to use it. So that's the trick, is to know some of these less common words that aren't super difficult. You're not forcing yourself to squeeze this really unfamiliar vocabulary into essays or into
Hmm.
your speaking exam. Instead, you're just taking words that really are fairly easy to use,
Yeah.
fairly easy to spell, but most students don't use them. And so they're high scoring.
Exactly. It's all about using that less common vocabulary. All right, guys, hit follow so you never miss an IELTS energy lesson. And do check out our online 3 Keys IELTS course, allearsenglish.com/keys. All right, Aubrey, great episode. I'll see you tomorrow.
Awesome. See you tomorrow. Bye,
Bye.
guys.